What's up, everybody? We are 7 days away, Kool-Aid drinkers, to one of our favorite events of the year, and that's the NFL Draft. Mike Grifka is here with me today, a longtime Lions fan and a guy that loves the NFL Draft. So what we're going to do right now, everybody, is we're just going to roll through some names, some targets of the Lions. I'm going to throw the name at Grifka. Grifka's going to give me just a little bit on each guy, what his thoughts are, and then we're also going to get kind of his thoughts and mine on where we're looking at number 20, if we stay there, and maybe what we can look at maybe in the second round as well. Grifka, does that sound good to you?
Yep, that works.
Nice. All right, man. One of the first targets, if he's there, I'm looking at Vita Vea.
I would love to have him in Lions Honolulu Blue. I mean, he would be perfect for that defense, but like you said, I don't think he's going to be there, and I don't think he's good enough for the Lions to trade up to get him.
Harold Landry, what are you thinking?
I would love it if they got him. I mean, that's one guy I would really like. I mean, he was a stud on a Boston College defense. The only things I've really heard about him was that he tends to take some plays off. Maybe that's something they could get him to work on, but that Lions definitely need an edge rusher, and I think he would fit the bill.
Marcus Davenport.
He's another one that I'd be happy if they got him. I don't know if he'll be there. The biggest thing I worry about him is just the talent pool that he played against in college versus somebody from a big school. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to make the jump, but if the Lions ended up with him, I'd like that as well.
At 20, offensive guard Will Hernandez.
We've had this discussion before. I hate offensive guards in the first round. They tend to be one-dimensional. They can only play one spot. And I'm never a big fan of taking a guard. I find them as luxury picks. Once again, the Lions have other needs that they need to get filled first before they take an offensive guard.
All right. Well, do me one favor. Pull him up on YouTube and take a look at this neck roll that he's rocking, and then tell me if you don't want him at number 20, because it's pretty legit. Straight up Ricky Incognito quality.
It's okay. Pull it up and show the little dinosaur arms, too. He has short arms. I guess that might be okay for guard, man, but it's, sustainable. I mean, I'm not saying you can't sustain a block. Still, not a huge fan of if that's who they took.
Okay. We're looking at, could they go running back at 20? Darius Geis could be there.
I would be okay with that. I think he would fit the system pretty well. So yeah, I wouldn't be that mad if they ended up with Geis. I think they can get other running backs in later rounds, but if they got Geis, I would be okay with that. Everybody,
Grifka as well as myself are Michigan fans. What are you thinking about Mo Hurst?
I'd be very happy if they took Mo Hurst. I think there's a couple other another D tackle I think I'd rather have, but if they ended up with Mo Hurst, I'd be okay with it. Guy's got a great quick first step, plays with a lot of heart, maybe a little undersized for what Patricia likes to run with a defense, but I would be very happy if they took him.
Now you mentioned the word heart. Are you worried about the heart issue at all?
No. Michigan's a big time school. They cleared him. And I can't see Michigan just putting anybody on the field just because we need him to win. I think Michigan. I'm not saying other schools don't care about their players, but I mean Michigan's got one of the best medical schools and hospitals in the country. I mean they're not gonna endanger a player's health just to win some football games. So if doctors at the University of Michigan cleared him, I can't see why the NFL wouldn't be able to clear him either.
All right, and I know this isn't my segment, but one thing I've been thinking is DTs at 20 is just not my favorite. I mean, I know we have some of these electric pass rushers, but I've kind of been calming on some of these DTs just because I value the other position spots more. But with that being said, I'm going to hit you with another DT. This is a guy I talked about a while ago, and now he's been creeping up the draft boards. Taven Bryan, Florida.
Taven Bryan, the guy was a one-year starter at Florida and didn't have that great a year. I'm hearing the stuff like, he's being compared to J.J. Watt, just not with that much upside. I don't want the pick. I would be very disappointed if that's who they took. I mean, like I said, one-year starter at Florida, didn't have that great a year, but oh, he's got such a high energy motor. Yeah, there's a lot of guys with high energy motors that, just don't cut it. So I wouldn't like that pick at all.
All right. How about we're going to stick in the DT area? This guy just falls in that range, and I'm curious of where you're at on him. Deron Payne out of Alabama.
That would be my choice, to be honest with you. Obviously Vita Vea is gone, and and if it was between Deron Payne or Harold Landry, and I was the one making the draft, I would go with Deron Payne. That's just me. I would love it if that's who the Lions took. I think he fits that defense perfectly.
All right. So how about if a corner falls, Jari Alexander? What do you think about that?
I'd be okay with it. Once again, cornerbacks, they tend to be playmakers. If they put somebody on the other side that they're gonna, start, with Slay, cool. But if it's one of those picks they're gonna do like Pete Tabor and pretty much redshirt him, and the guy never sees the field, I personally think it'd be almost a wasted pick at that point.
We talked about one running back. What's your thoughts on Sony Michel at the Lions at 20?
I think the first round for Michel is a little high. If he fell to the second round, perfect. I would love that pick. Actually, I think I would rather have him in the second round than Geis in the first.
Nice. I'm agreeing with most of your takes here. I gotta say, it's good stuff. So those were a lot of the
scary.
first round.
Actually, this is scary that me and you agree on too much stuff.
Exactly. Let me throw one other name because it's your favorite position. What if they send the card up to the podium and it's tight end Dallas Goedert?
What I say to you one time? If they draft a tight end in the first round, I'm gonna go punch Matt Patricia in the throat. Once again, I would hate it if they took a tight end in the first round. Once again, I feel tight ends are luxury positions. I realize they have Rob Gronkowski in New England, but let's face it, man, he's not Rob Gronkowski. So I would hate it. I would almost hate a tight end in the second round. That's just me though. I mean, I don't think offenses are based around tight ends being the ones that are catching the ball, because when you always say they're matchup nightmares. So matchup nightmares happen one out of every 8, 9 tight ends. There's only so many big tight ends. You can find a decent tight end somewhere else.
I agree with you, and then I might have said that was the last one, but you mentioned your thoughts on guards. What do you think about this center out of Iowa, James Daniels?
He's okay, I guess, for lack of a better term. Once again, if they got him later, I'd be fine. Maybe third round, something like that. Centers and guards, I don't like drafting them high. It seems like you always hear these stories about guys, this guard was taken in the 5th round. We got this guard in the 4th. We got this center in the 6th. And they turn out to be, Pro Bowlers and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of taking guards and centers high. That's just me. Once again, I'm not a GM of a pro team, and I'm just a, armchair quarterback, or armchair GM, whatever you want to call it. But still, I mean, I'm not a fan of taking them high, the first couple rounds.
Overall, you kind of set it up a little bit there, but your best case scenario, or how you think it might shake out at 20, and then give me a little combo. Maybe if it happens this way at 20, what would you think in the second round? Just some general scenarios if you got in.
Well, once again, I mean, depending on who's there, I've seen a couple different things. But once again, I would really like if they got Deron Payne. If they were able to get a defensive tackle in the first round, I don't think there's really any of that great tight defensive ends for the second round. I mean, I've seen Sam Hubbard go in late first round, second round. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of Sam Hubbard, but so I would really like it if they went, running back in the second round, like you said, Sony Michel, even Nick Chubb, if he was still there, something like that. Now, if if the way they drafted him, they took an interior lineman in the second round, maybe Penny in the third round. I think he can be an explosive person also. But hey, he might not be there in the third round. I know he's flying up a lot of draft boards as well. Mm-hmm. So the way I'd look at it is that I would like to get a defensive tackle in the first round, the running back in the second round, and then the third round, maybe that interior offensive lineman, or maybe you're going like defensive tackle, defensive end at that point in the third round again. I mean, I think the defense still needs a lot more help on it than the offensive side of the ball.